This is the online financial school. We continue to develop skills online, our cost-effective platform. This series of lectures is on life insurance. This particular lecture, lecture number 6, talks about savings. And in looking at savings, we are looking at what is called the real rate of return. Now, when you put money away, when you save money, you get a return. What this lecture is about learning to divide that return into two parts: the inflation rate and the real rate of return. Now, if you have already gone through the series of lectures on compounding, you would be now fully appreciating the power of compounding, the so-called miracle of compound interest. And you could be wondering, if money grows so fast, why are the savings dynasties? Why is it that no one ever got rich by saving? And you are right to wonder, because investment returns are made up of two parts. So there is the first part, inflation. When we put money aside, one of the key objectives is to maintain the purchasing power of that money. And in order to maintain the purchasing power, you must at least earn the rate of inflation on your investment. The second objective is to increase the purchasing power of the money that you are putting aside. That is the real rate of return. So, if we look at the investment return, it's made up of two parts: the inflation rate and the real rate of return. And you must always learn to make this distinction. You could already be asking, but if I'm going to make the distinction, what is inflation? What is this so-called real rate of return? And you are right to ask those questions. To understand the answer, it's important to understand that money is a wasting asset. So if you put your money under your pillow, then that money is losing its ability to buy, its purchasing power. And the rate at which it loses its purchasing power is called inflation. In order to maintain the value of your money, you need to invest your money and earn at least the rate of inflation. Now, let me complicate things somewhat here by saying that there are different measures of inflation, and different measures of inflation apply to different people. And it is important for you to understand which measure of inflation applies to you, or maybe applies to your circumstances. So, financial analysis devotes a lot of time to determining the real rate of return, but also to determining the appropriate inflation measure. So we did say that the real rate of return is the increase in the purchasing power of your money. If you look at it, really all financial analysis rests on that premise: the desire to earn a real rate of return, the desire to get a more reliable measure of growth. And getting to know the more reliable measure of growth rests on one premise: that you must know the actual inflation rate that applies to your case. We can reverse the equation and get the real rate of return to be equal to the investment return less inflation. So investment return less inflation must always be positive if you are saving money. I repeat, the real rate of return must be positive if you are earning money. That is the true measure of return. That is the secret that all people who got rich had to master. And if you aspire to get rich, you should master it too. That the true measure of growth, when you invest assets, when you venture to make a return at all on your money, is the